Namaskar. My name is Sanjay Lakshmikant Paithankar. Today I am going to talk about the newly notified law called CAA, Citizenship Amendment Act, that has come into force. Now, let us also talk about the resistance, the opposition from different political parties, all political parties in fact, except BJP and its supporters. People are these politicians, let me be precise, these politicians, and of course the Muslims, they have been spreading lies about this law, that it is going to disenfranchise Muslims of India, it is discriminatory, it is all bad. The conclusion would be, when you listen to these people, it is a bad, bad, bad law. Now, when you ask these people how it is bad, could they put forth some explanation? You will get a grand view of let me use an expression, oxymoron. Their in-depth shallowness comes out in the open on a sunny day. We all know that Muslims are always opposed to anything BJP does. BJP says, despite getting the most benefit from this BJP government's laws, the freebies, they are the most benefited people, the Muslims. But they have to, they must find something that doesn't exist in BJP's rulings, meaning making laws, right? How is this law discriminatory? Oh, you are not bringing Muslims, you are bringing Hindus, Sikhs, Jains, Buddhists rather, and Christians and Parsis. You are not letting the Muslims of these three countries, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh. There are many, many oppressed Muslim communities in those countries that will not be able to use any reason of unjust ways of those governments as a vehicle to come into India, become a citizen, right? Now, the fundamental question is, these countries are Muslim countries. You Muslim folks broke India and established these countries because your scripture said you cannot live with us, Hindus. You cannot eat at the same table with Hindus. Isn't that what Jinnah said? But you want Muslims to come to India, become citizens from these countries that have a glaring record of perpetrating untold hardships on the minorities in those countries, especially the Hindus. But OIC, a sad, buddhihin, illiterate, claiming to have been educated in England, says this is the mindset of Godse. Now, this man has spoken without preparing. He represents around 20-30 lakh people of Hyderabad. He considers himself a very, very intelligent man. But he thinks this is Godse theory being imposed on India. They also go to the extent of saying that this is unconstitutional law, CAA. Now, this was passed in the Parliament of India. Whatever law is passed, whatever bill is passed in the Parliament of India cannot be called unconstitutional. Indian Parliament is above the Supreme Court. Please understand, that is the supreme body that makes laws. Okay? Now, let me talk about a psychological phrase. Okay? Cognitive dissonance. Now, the explanations could become very convoluted. The simple meaning of this phrase is, we rationalize something that is bad for us and use it, consume it, eat it. Oh, my stress, the tremendous amount of it, makes me drink alcohol. That is cognitive dissonance. Balraj Madhok of Hindu Mahasabha, a great leader. I read him once, read one of his articles. He said, a Muslim judge in India with 4 wives can punish a Hindu for marrying twice. The ugliest example of judicial cognitive dissonance. Let me repeat. Balraj Madhok's words. A Muslim judge with 4 wives. Sharia allows it, right? But India doesn't recognize Sharia. The constitution does not. Despite that, that judge can send a Hindu to prison for marrying twice. Think about it. Indian judiciary has so many examples of embedded cognitive dissonance. That at the end of the day, we sleep with questions in our mind. Hey, how is this the biggest book of law in this country? Now, the Hindu leaders, in name only, let me stress that, Mamata Banerjee, she is staunchly opposed to the CAA implementation. Because 30% of her vote bank comprises Muslims, those illegals that have jumped the fence and entered India illegally. To protect them, to protect that vote bank, she is opposed to CAA. Let's go to Kerala. Pinarayi Vijayan is the chief minister there. I pity this man's understanding of Indian law. He said that he would not let this law be used in Kerala. I am sure his advisors have told him that bills passed into law in the parliament cannot be ignored by any state government. Now, there are many Congress leaders. Those people who shamelessly, unabashedly said 2611 was RSS conspiracy. Digvijay Singh, he also said some Islamic cleric who has run away from India and he is hiding in Malaysia. Nayak. He is the Messiah of peace, the same Digvijay Singh. BJP is polarizing. How is anybody polarizing anybody? Those people that Muslims cannot tolerate until they have read Kalma, have become Muslims. They want to come to India. And Muslims say, Indian Muslims say, they are not welcome. When Rohingya Muslims infiltrated India and they were being opposed, what did these hordes of Muslims say? The multitudes that throng, that crowd the cities of India, what did they say? Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Bharatiya Sanskriti is accommodative. Let all Rohingyas come. Let all Bangladeshi illegal immigrants come to India. Let me go back to my phrase, cognitive dissonance. Rohingyas, Bangladeshi Islamic terrorists. Rohingyas are by no means less terrorists rather. They should be welcomed in India. Their Aadhaar cards, ration cards, everything that will make them look legal are produced underground. And all these Muslims that appear on TV in their own shrill voice advocate that these are troubled, persecuted minorities of those countries and they must be welcomed. Atithi Devo Bhava. They built out a lot of fractured Sanskrit idioms. But when it comes to bringing the truly persecuted Hindus, Sikhs, Jains, Buddhists from these Islamic countries that broke away from India because they could not live with Hindus, the same Muslim cabal that believe in Sharia, that despicable, hateful book which says if you do not accept Islam, we will go to war with you. Right? It is an oxymoron. They live every day, practice every day. It is not a paradox. You cannot bring around these unruly Muslim mafia to accept anything that benefits. I'm not saying it is in favor of, that benefits slightly Hindus of this country, or for that matter, Hindus trying to immigrate to this country, because life is a burden for them in those Islamic countries where anything and everything is used to make these people, the minorities, feel humiliated, belittled, and many times these people are slapped with the crime that is the ultimate crime in Islam, blasphemy against Muhammad. He spoke against Muhammad, so he has to be lynched, killed on the street, burned, which is exactly what the Pakistanis did to a Sri Lankan official who was working for the benefit of Pakistan. He was dragged into the streets, and every one of them that was on the street participated in killing, burning that body. Think about it. Cognitive dissonance. They lead these lives, but when you show them that they are wrong, the court proves that you are wrong. The courts, the Indian judiciary rather, is surely against Hindus. They are ready to accept a petition by a sad Buddhihin OIC challenging implementation of CAA. Many Muslim bodies I will not corrupt my tongue by pronouncing their names. They are all going to the Supreme Court. They have promised the Indian public that we are going to challenge this law because Hindu population will see a quantum jump. All these Hindus from neighboring countries who had lived in this country for a long time without being given any kind of rights, because citizens have rights, non-citizens don't. Today they will get those rights, and Muslims can't stomach that. For them, these are muhajirs, refugees that need to be driven out. But Rohingyas, Pakistanis, and Bangladeshis are welcome. They teach us Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. They tell us follow Atithi Devo Bhava. Why are the Hindus of Pakistan that dodge bullet every day? Why are they not Atithi? Therefore, Devo Bhava. Please comment if you feel like. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Ram.